Prayag and Abhinav. One is a
Nice.
super heavy, and the other one is I don't know if he's happy or sad. But how's it going, boys? How was the summer?
Summer was good. Summer was very quiet for me in terms of the Liverpool changes happening in the club and everything. So I think it was finally time for me to just relax, sit back, and see what my club is going to do. Because with Klopp, it was always there's a lot of weightage in terms of how he wants to do and what the way the club will end up next season. But I think this summer was sort of a free hit for us. So I think in that sense, I think it was more relaxed. I was like basically anticipating what is going to happen. So I think it was okay. And based on the recent results, it's been very good.
Nice. Now, I mean, clearly based on recent results, you're flying high. You're, I think, one goal away from being top of the table. So not too bad. So let's jump right in actually there because I'm not sure what Prayag is up to. Prayag, can you hear us?
I think it's figuring things out.
Okay, so let's jump into the slot machine, right? So I have this thought for you, and it just occurred to me after the game.
Mhm.
I think Liverpool might have just struck the jackpot at the slot machine, which not many people can. I think it's a really good style of play. Uh, it has blended very well in with
Yeah.
Klopp style, and
Mhm.
you guys are flying high. Zero goals conceded, and many goals that are scored. What do you think?
I know, you know what? I don't want to tempt fate, or I don't want to kind of jinx anything, but I really think that we actually found a coach who can actually live up to Klopp. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot of when Slot signed in, and there was a lot of people who were like not so very much convinced by him because of his experience in Eredivisie and the way the fact that he hasn't managed a top club, he doesn't have the experience. But I think Liverpool's backroom staff has really picked the jackpot in actually appointing him because they saw how Liverpool actually was, how Liverpool plays right from the youth academy to the high level. Right? I think they saw how that is, and they said, okay, we are going to find someone, not Xabi Alonso, not someone who is a high profile man. We are going to find someone, even though they is low key, we're going to find and appoint someone who will fit the style of play at all levels. And I think that's basically why I think Slot is actually a very good choice going forward. Again, it's just 3 games. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but the fact that we are able to kind of just blend into the Klopp style of playing, it shows how much research we have done in the back end, and then how it's showing up. I think, are you muted? I don't think I can hear you. I think you're muted for some reason.
Yeah. I thought I was moving. I think no. I was just gonna say like I am still a skeptic when it comes to assessing new managers so quickly,
Mhm.
especially 3 games in the season. I mean, because I personally believe that a lot of people are one trick ponies. One of them we'll come to right after this segment, uh, and it really shows how a coach evolves and how a coach survives a scare,
Right.
especially if it's
Mhm.
like a big injury or like something goes going against them, like a couple of
Mhm.
injuries or like a string of results that unexpected results that happens. How do they bounce back? How do they evolve from on their tactics? So that is something that
Right.
I look on a new coach.
Mhm.
But having said all of that, putting all of that context into the conversation, I think you've actually smashed it with the especially with the fact that there is he can implement his own style with the players that you
Yeah.
have, and that goes to show firstly the Klopp, like how beautiful his tactics. Uh, I mean how interchangeable his tactics were with Slot and Klopp, but also like just the quality of players you have. It's just amazing. With
Exactly.
it's Trent can do multiple roles. Salah can do Salah things.
Mhm.
He revived Gravenberch to a certain extent. McAllister is like the
Right.
next region of Kante, and it's just like everything is working out perfectly for you guys.
No, exactly. And I think I want to allude to the last point you made, right? Because the fact is, say for example, Slot came into a structure where Ten Hag came in, and then there was no backroom staff. There was instability like all over, right? I think he couldn't have performed to the best of his abilities. The fact that he was given a platform to perform, the fact that Klopp left him a good squad to work with, I think that's all working in his favor. And yes, he's a good tactician for sure, but the fact that Liverpool have been slowly adding to their squad, and then they made his job much more easier. That's what you kind of look for in a healthy relationship. Like, basically you're trying to make each other's job easier. I
Yeah.
think Slot walked into that area of, okay, we can definitely work with this. I can definitely implement my tactics. I don't need a huge turnover of players. And I think that's where I think we have kind of really hit the jackpot in terms of appointing him. Again, 3 games and trying to kind of be calm and measure and everything. But at the same time, I really want to kind of understand, kind of highlight the fact that they made a very good appointment. We'll see how things go. But, given so far on this evidence, I don't think we will finish outside of top four. Maybe the title is too early to call given Man City, but top four for sure, I think is in the bag.
No, I mean, I think you definitely were nailed on top four for me before, even before the league started. Just simply because, dude, you have the players. You have, like, the four factor, if I were to call it, in Trent, Salah, and Allison and Van Dijk, and you haven't conceded any goals. Like, so your defense is like pretty smashing. Even it was smashing last season too. So it's not like it has happened all of a sudden. Like, it was like a consistent thing, and probably you went down because of in quality and in terms of performance because of injuries. But scary times, bro. Like, scary times for the league, and I really hope
I
it
know
is.
it's it's kind of also scary for Liverpool that the 4 players that you mentioned, 3 of them might be leaving for free next season. So I think that's a topic for another day, I guess. I think I'll rant about it later, but right now I just want to enjoy the Man United Liverpool win. But I don't know. I think in terms of how we have planned the squad so far, I can't have any complaints, man. I think today's performance is basically a mirror, is basically a conclusion of how we have planned so far and what the first 2 games have been. And we should definitely keep at least 2 of those 3 people or 4 people, I guess. So I think Alice is going to say, hopefully Trent signs, hopefully Van Dijk signs. Salah, I don't know, it's touch and go. We'll see how it goes.
I think it's Hala Madrid for Trent, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, I think. Oh yeah, I'm convinced in the likelihood of people signing extensions for their contract. I think if Trent is going to go, I mean, I think
Yeah,
so because he has no reason to kind of stay at Liverpool at this stage of his
yeah,
career. I mean, yeah, this emotion and sentiment aside, he has really no reason to kind of stay at Liverpool, and
yeah,
because he has proven everything, he has
yeah.
achieved everything. Unlike Gerrard, unlike someone else, unlike a Scouse Liverpool player, right? He has
Yeah.
achieved everything. He's proven everything. So Trent, as much as it hurts me, I think he's going to leave on a
I think
on
he's
a
gonna leave.
free next summer with all the sign-on bonus he's going to get from Real Madrid, especially with Carvajal and nearing his retirement or whatever.
Yeah,
So Trent, I think, is going to leave. Salah is a 50-50. I mean, it depends on his mood, I guess, and if he wants to be the best Liverpool player ever, or if he wants to just kind of go to Saudi and then have more money. But I think Van Dijk may sign a new contract because he's the captain of Liverpool. I think he was much more loyal than Henderson. I guess, but yeah, we'll see.
let's see. Let's see. I hope the best for Liverpool. Actually, not. I hope all of them should leave. And Pep leaves and everybody leaves and it's just Arsenal in the league and then we win it.
And
Because
rainbows and unicorns and everything else that comes
yeah,
with it.
yes, sir. That's what I want. But we have Prayag in. So Prayag, is Ten Hag on borrowed time?
Yeah, we've been saying this since last season, right? Nothing has changed. Is there anything positive for United fans to look to at this point?
And
You
and
can
the
He
tweet
worst
about
keeps
thing,
saying
Jesse
that
Love from
they're
last
still.
season.
I was just gonna say,
Apparently, what he said recently. Apparently, he was questioned about like his current position, and he said that only Pep has won more titles than Ten Hag since he's come here. I mean, that tells you about his mentality. I think that's all you need to know.
bro, he was. I think he's so stupid that he set himself up for failure there. Like, he
Exactly,
literally teed
exactly.
everybody up. He gave ammunition to everybody. Like, yeah, hit me because I'm a stupid fuck. That's what he did.
But you can say the same thing about some of the players as well, like Anthony. right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a joke right now, and that's totally on him.
Yeah.
Not just on the field performances, but everything else he has done. So when it comes to United, I really hope that they have a plan moving forward, what they're going to do with the new ownership, and hope that what they have in mind is to just give one more year to Ten Hag, but they have something else brewing in the background for the future. If that is not the case, if Ten Hag leaves and it's if they're going to start from zero again, I think that is not at all a good look for United.
Yeah.
And what I think? I think basically manager is just one of the many things United needs to correct in order to become a good club or the way they are supposed to be. And the reason why Ten Hag got this reprieve last season, yeah, I mean maybe they are under this PR nonsense or pressure that okay they won the FA Cup, now we can't sack him. But I think also the larger reason is okay, he's not the only problem we need to kind of address. There's a lot of things going on in the background. If you look at any of Jim Ratcliffe's interviews in the last 2 or 3 months, he shows how much dysfunction there is at United in terms of the backroom staff, in terms of the wages and everything else. So I think they're correcting things one by one, and I think they also kind of understand that sacking the manager is not going to be a you know one fix, one for everything that they are seeing, right? So I think at this point of time, whatever Ten Hag does or doesn't do, I don't think it matters. As long as they have got the players, they got good players. They have these Antonies and Rashfords, and once they kind of get all of these people out of the system, I think they want to kind of address things one by one. I hope they're doing that, and I also hope as a Liverpool fan they're not doing that. But we'll see. I think that's it, because again, if he is definitely on borrowed time. He is going, even if he achieves top four, even if he wins a League Cup or something, I think he's going to go at the end of the season because I don't think they're going to extend. Did they already extend his contract?
For 2 or 3 years. I mean, he's
Yeah.
What
hopefully
the?
he's gonna have like a
Yeah, see, see what we discussed earlier on this podcast was
Mhm,
that maybe the right move is to keep him for one more year and then
mhm.
start making the necessary changes in the organization while
Right.
he's given an opportunity to perform for one more year, right?
yeah,
But then now they have offered that contract, so now it makes no sense.
yeah,
And you know what would be really
Yeah.
funny if Arne Slot works out? That means that like in the time since Sir Alex Ferguson has left, uh, Klopp has come in and he's left, and they were able to transition smoothly. And United are still in transition, so that's an insane look for United. I don't know what to say.
you know why
I
I
think for
say
the club,
why
sorry, go
I
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I personally believe it's a lot on Ten Hag. I mean, I echo your sentiment, Abhinav, that there's a lot going wrong at the club, but then madness is doing the same things and expecting different results. And
Exactly.
you have seen with your club, you've seen with even the Chelsea, dude. Like, with the amount of shit that they deal with as a fan base, you can see Maresca implementing a style of play, or you can see what he's trying to do with Ten Hag. And a lot of people will shit on Casemiro today for the goals that the Liverpool scored, and rightly so. Don't get me wrong, Casemiro was at fault, but then it's on manager to know the flaws of a player and still repeatedly put him in the same situation, not giving him support. So Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo, both of them work together, or their capabilities should complement each other. But how it is set up is one of them goes right in front, or one of them stays back, and whoever is left back is completely isolated. And that's a systematic flaw. That's not a. I mean, it's a personal flaw, obviously. I mean, Casemiro is not Casemiro anymore. So don't get me wrong. I'm not making excuses for Casemiro here, but a manager, if he doesn't have the players, needs to understand the flaws or the shortcomings of his players and then try to rectify them, which I haven't seen him do at all. Like at all. And it's painful for me, for my United fans to friends on this pod, because this is absolutely disheartening to see the same thing again and again. Like, before a game that Casemiro is going to make that mistake. You don't have any players, but you're doing nothing tactically to stop it from happening. It's absolutely insane, isn't it? Like your
No,
boardroom,
it is.
your
It
back.
is definitely insane. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying your backroom staff or anything that's happening behind the club can not change it. It's just that he doesn't know how to do it. That's the only explanation.
No, and the best part is it's all out there. Like everyone's speaking about it. It's not like people are yet to realize like what's going wrong. It's everybody's speaking about it. So it just needs to be addressed at this point.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, they have so many problems to address right now. It's just that they can't focus on which one. Because right now, Radcliffe thinks that everything must change structurally, not just on the face. Because on-field performance is the face of the club, but I think they see so much dysfunction behind Ten Hag. Okay, this is a bigger chasm which people are not talking about, which only I'm able to see, which needs to be corrected than what's happening on the field. Because again, as I said earlier, the reason why Slot is able to perform to the best of his abilities 3 games in is because everything behind him, he doesn't have to worry about all of the backroom dysfunction. Everything else is set in stone for him. He can just like come in and just go right away. But I think what the new owners, I think ownership only changed like what 6 or 8 months ago. Once they came in, I think they're seeing a lot of things, and they're like, okay, which problem do I focus on? There is so many things going wrong all at once. Which fire do I put out right now? I think that's basically is what giving Ten Hag more time. Even though I mean I agree with all of the points, AJ, but I think even though you can see that there is so much, people just kind of going haywire on the field for United. It's just that they see much deeper problems which need to be fixed first, addressed first, and then they'll come to Ten Hag with this, which probably, hopefully, will be the end of the season.
I
I
hope you
think the only
honestly
thing that
agree.
makes sense, is that they gave that contract extension to Ten Hag just to maintain some stability, not to make it too obvious that he's leaving at the end of the season. So if that is the case, okay, sure. But then that still means, even if that is true, okay, maybe that is what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe they actually have a plan. Maybe they're making changes. But from the outside perspective, right? What else are we supposed to assume right now? I mean, we're seeing the same shit show for the third year. So
I mean, I'm happy. As I'm saying, long it may continue. I mean, I am enjoy it every day. But after a point, it just becomes sad because if a noob like us can see the problems, then it's just irritating that other people, professional people, can't see it. So I guess I mean we'll
That's
just
the
we'll just live with it. I guess.
No, I think that's the thing, right? I think the most disgusting feeling you can have as a football fan or as a fan of your club is that the other clubs, your rival clubs, being feeling sad for you.
Yeah.
I mean, they can hate
yeah.
you, they can taunt you, they can just like give you shit about things. But if they're feeling sad for you, that's when you feel like, okay, a Liverpool fan is actually thinking that, okay, sacking Ten Hag. I mean, they can understand what's happening. I think that's actually where I think it just shows how much of shit they're in.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even get a United player to join us today.
They didn't show up, guys. Just for making the notes. They didn't show up. They are hiding somewhere. Okay, so from one joke to another, right? Uh, have FA and PGMOL more like okay? So let me put it this way: are PGMOL more addicted to drama than actual fairness of sport? Because we all know what happened yesterday, and you can make a lot of reasonings on why it shouldn't have happened. Maybe somebody can make a reasoning of why it was the right one, but I don't want to hear that somebody. Uh, so,
I never said that. I never said that.
but let's jump to Prayag, dude. What do you think? I think you
No,
think
I
United
said
should
it
have
from the
played.
beginning. It's unfair. I just said something. I'm not going to say that again. That I feel like maybe Declan Rice should have been smarter. But anyways, forget about that. Not only are we saying that, I mean that shouldn't be a yellow card, and but it is really inconsistent from the referee because I just saw a compilation of like instances where players were kicking the ball away and doing all those stuff in front of the same guy in other games, and he didn't give them yellow cards. So why? Why would you do it here? It makes no sense.
Yeah,
And maybe it's because the Brighton players started saying it and it just came to his mind. But I don't understand why they didn't go to the VAR. I don't understand why it was his first instinct to do that. And I feel like referees should also be a bit practical in this scenario, that they need to understand, okay, that was accidental. Because if you saw the video, right, the ball hit Declan's feet first. So he was startled. He didn't understand what was going on. He didn't know a free kick was going to be taken, right? So it was just like it's his instinct. It was his reflex. So you should not be giving a card to a player that who's already on a yellow card. It makes no sense. And the same guy has not done that before. So it doesn't make any sense. So I know nothing is going to come out of it. It is not going to be spoken about within like a week or two. So at this point, I think we're just wasting energy.
No, I totally agree with you, Prayag, because I think 2 points you made, right? One is that it's instinctive. Like, how can any sane person look at that video and think that Declan Rice instinctively kicked the ball away to stop a free kick from happening and delaying play, right? He was not, if the ball touched his feet, it was an instinctive reaction. Okay, touch my feet. He didn't even like make a movement with his leg
Yeah,
just to kind of kick it out of the play. It was not even a kick. It was just touched him. It's what you do. Like if you randomly going on a road, some football comes and hits you, you'll be like, okay, fine, yeah, it'll touch my feet. That's exactly what happened. And the fact that you kind of construe that as you're delaying a start or basically go into the technicalities of it goes against the principle of your free flowing game, which PGM and
exactly.
PGMOL have been so much worried about. Because, if I remember correctly, the first thing that they had, because VAR, when it was being introduced, it was in discussion for a couple of seasons or so. The first thing that they had against introduction of VAR was that it will disrupt the flow of the game. What are you doing now? What are you doing now by doing this, by disrupting the flow of the game? Like, I know, yeah, it started, there's a fall going on, but why are you getting involved in such trivial matters? Like, no one, not one player, not a Brighton player, not a Man United player, no one, no fan who's not fan of Arsenal would have complained if it was just kind of not looked into. But for some reason, they have to kind of throw the book at that exact point of time and say that, okay, no, we have to, this is where we pick on things. Because the fact is, if they're picking on every minute thing, I get it. But they're not. They're not picking on everything. They're just basically trying to see where they can't help themselves. It's just that they're throwing the book at the time where it's not needed, and they're just getting into the drama of things. Sometimes it feels like they're just addicted to the drama so much that they just can't get out of it. They just want some narrative to be against the referees. I don't know what joy they're going to get out of it. I don't know how it's going to help their narrative, but it's some drama all the time. And the thing is, again, I'm at this point I'm reaching, but the thing is, more drama is more engagement, more viewership, more comments. And the fact that we are all suckers for this game, we're all suckers for our respective clubs, it's only going to keep us enraged and then say, okay, now we'll tune in, now we'll complain more, now we'll do something else. I don't know if that's what they're playing at. It's just it's just bonkers that they're still kind of doing these things season after season. Okay, first season of VAR, I get it. Second season of VAR, I get it. Oh, you're fine tuning yourself. But this is the fourth or fifth season of VAR. You're still doing these rudimentary mistakes.
Yeah.
Where will people back you up? Why be in the middle of everything? Why can't you just kind of be a spectator and then just appreciate the game normally? Why get into this?
Bro,
I
I
think
have.
I think you can just chalk it up to stupidity and incompetence at this point. The, my view on this is that if it can be explained by incompetence, that's probably what happened instead of something sinister. So there is no system in place. So they just act how they feel in that moment, which obviously is influenced by maybe the fans, maybe their own biases, maybe the players on the pitch, instead of following some kind of set instruction. So this is why these decisions are really inconsistent. And it could be that maybe some teams have more influence, so referees are less inclined to making harsh decisions against them, maybe because of the recuperation, because of the blowback they'll get from that. So it could be because that, I think that's what's exactly happening here. So the reason why these guys haven't reformed is probably because of bureaucracy and politics. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but I think with in yeah, go on.
I was just gonna
No,
say
no, no.
that.
I was just going to make a comment about City, but yeah, go ahead.
No, no, I was just gonna
Yeah,
say that.
animation. Yeah.
No, no, I was just gonna say that. Look at reactions of Kai Havertz, right? He's still
Hmm.
confused what happened. Like he right now in the moment he's confused. Like he doesn't know what happened.
Kai Havertz is always confused look on his face, but
No,
yes,
but like, and anybody around the ball, around the stadium, were basically going to the referee and saying, "Oh, it shouldn't be a red card for Veltman. It was a mistake." Not saying that it should be a red card for Rice. That's first. Right? You look at the reaction of the
Hmm.
people. Secondly, let's. Okay, I want to debunk this, right? To all these idiots who are saying that it is by the letter of the law and shit, all of that shit. Was the ball in the position of the foul? No. Letter of the law? Didn't we even didn't follow that. Was the ball rolling? Yes. Did the Brighton players not pick the ball up, spotted it, and then kicked it to Rice? Free kick was taken. Letter of the law. We're good, right? Does that mean free kick was already taken? Yes, of course it was, because then Rice was perfectly fine to intervene the ball and kick it out because he was just interrupting the play. And then lastly, should Veltman not have been sent off for kicking Rice the way he did? So all of those letter of the laws were not followed, but the one letter of the law that was followed was Rice just touching the ball in the
Hmm.
lieu of him trying to delay the play. I mean, are we kidding right here? And I don't think the issue is about incompetence. I mean, or it can be about incompetence because it is selective application of laws whenever they feel like they should apply it and whenever they feel like they shouldn't apply. But I think it is a broader case of a main character syndrome of the referees where they're like, oh, we
Hmm.
need to be at the center of the stage, we need to be talked about, we need to be influencing the game. If something is happening, we need to be the grandmaster in a elementary school where everything needs to be by a certain order, and if that doesn't happen, then we are basically going to fuck people apart. And what baffles me is you referee set a tone for the match, right? Every referee has a way of managing a match. Sometimes they let the fouls go, that encourages player to be a little bit more physical. That's how the game goes. Sometimes they let some trivial things go away, that encourages people to do those trivial things, because then in their head they have a perception that, okay, this referee is going to be refereeing the game in that particular way, and that's what they build their sensibility of that moment, of that game on. And when a referee just goes against whatever precedence he's set in the game, and just comes up in the 49 minutes and just does that, I mean, you can't really blame anybody. You can't really blame Rice there, because he saw the precedents with Jao Pedro, with like another incident in the first half where referee was being lenient. So he was like, "Oh, this is not a big thing. I'm not hoofing the ball away. Whatever. It just came and struck me, and then I'm just pushing it a little bit further." So I generally don't get it, and I feel like this has. I mean, moving on to like it having ramifications for Arsenal, I personally feel like this, a lot of people will say like it's just 2 points, 35 more games to go and all of that stuff. But the point is, it's not about that. Point is, what are you expecting? Are you expecting Arsenal to be win 35 out of 35? Are you expecting there's no
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
room for error here? Are you basically, these instances take away all the room for error for a team like Arsenal, who doesn't have the players the caliber of City has, doesn't have the resources the caliber of City has, and expect us to be perfect in each and every game? Because whenever we are not, we are, or whenever, even if we are, we're screwed like these instances. And then after, at the end of the day, after 38 games, if we lose by 1 point, and if we say that, oh, it was the Brighton game that fucked us over, people will be like, of course not. You had 35 more games to make up. And I'm like, what are you expecting of us? Like, not lose a single game, go 35 games unbeaten. That's just an unnecessary and a stupid expectation, because all the margin of error is being taken away from us in the initial part of the league. So that's where my main frustration is, more than anything else.
No, I totally understand it. I think in a league where there are no playoffs, where every goal, everything counts towards the end. I don't think you can just say that, okay, yeah, this is done, just move forward, everything autocorrects itself, and then you expect people to kind of just go for it and then say, okay, you didn't perform over the next 35 games. I think that's bullshit. And the other thing I want to kind of talk about is the way referees are not helping themselves is basically with all these rule changes. And the reason why they're being inconsistent is because there are these changes every season. For example, how many times has the handball law has been changed? It's either from here, from somewhere else. If only if it touches in the attacking phase of play, defensive phase of play, it's a handball, not a handball. That's one thing. It's been changed at least like 5 or 6 times in the last, I don't know, 3 years. And yesterday, and I think so not yesterday, the last season, even there was this rule about, if players are asking for a yellow card or something, they'll get a yellow card. The players cannot protest or ask for a yellow card, ask for an opposition player to get carded. They'll protest. I think again, And was that tool applied consistently? No. It was basically everything just coming in. Players kept asking whenever they felt like it, whenever they thought, okay, we can apply this tool, they'll apply it. And then this season is the same thing, delaying the restart. Like Declan Rice. I mean, again, they are basically confused as to when the rule can be applied, when it means, when they have to go to the letter of the law, when they have to apply common sense. And the fact that we are asking for common sense from PGML and their rule is a big no. Like, either you make the rule very consistent, make it objective, or do not have subjective rules. Do not give them the freedom to make subjective decisions because it's only going to end up in failure.
Yeah. Priyag, let me throw it this way. Should Arsenal be worried? And context is behind that question. We can be come the end of next two games. We have Tottenham away, City away. One of them we are playing without Declan Rice, and both of them being our sort of bogey grounds. I mean, we did well. We got 4 points out of six last season from there, but traditionally they're places where we end up dropping points. So we might be 8 points off City come the end of game week 5, and we might. I mean, if from whatever I have seen, and you might disagree with me here because I'm a little bit skeptic about how Arsenal play, but I don't think we have much of new tactics. I mean, players are coming in. There's going to be a new LCM, but I don't know how that's going to work. But it's much of the same of last season. Whereas if you see at Liverpool, if you see at City, they have evolved a little bit, and they're presenting new challenges to the teams. So, do you think it's a worrying time for Arsenal, or do you think it's not something that you know is that big of a deal?
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you said earlier, I don't think we were ever lacking when it comes to our tactics. We were always strong in that department. I think it's not just in the previous season, even the season before that. I think mentality was the issue and maybe squad depth. So some of that also has been resolved, and I feel like the mentality has definitely improved in our team. So with that experience and everything, I think we have everything like what it takes to win in the season. Like we can't really make any excuses. And even losing 1 point is like a big blow to that expectation. So it's unfortunate that we couldn't win that game, but I think we didn't. I would say that coming out of that game, even though there was some frustration, I think the team and the fans are still confident for the games like moving forward. We didn't feel like we saw Arsenal being vulnerable or anything. It was understandable. You're playing with a player less, right?
Yeah,
And we almost scored. I think I was quite impressed with how we countered in that situation. We came close to scoring twice, right? And it was just luck. Uh, I think at the bare minimum, we need to win one game, and I think maybe we can afford a draw. Anything less than that, which is two losses or a loss and a draw, uh, yeah, that would be concerning. Or a win and a loss. So I think that should be our target. We should definitely try to win the Spurs game and the City game. Maybe I mean we should always try to win all games, but I think that we can afford a draw in that game.
yeah.
That wouldn't be so bad because you're playing against City, right? So I think we're going to see a repeat of last season between City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. And I think that this year Liverpool are going to go all the way.
All the way.
Like
You're calling.
imagine if like
No, I mean like they're not
start
going to
like this
fumble
month.
a
Oh, okay,
month
okay.
before. Yeah, yeah. I think they have what it takes, and they don't have that insane pressure and expectation, right? What what was on Klopp last season. So I think that uh, it's going to be a very competitive and interesting season. And uh, with regards to the Spurs game, I think. I think it's good that they lost the previous game. So that is obviously going to affect their mentality going into this game. And they're looking a bit shaky right now. So,
I mean,
so I'm not concerned about that game.
yeah, to be honest, you're right. Tottenham, I'm not really concerned because I think they can score goals, but I think we have enough to score more than them and not, prevent them from scoring. So, but
Hmm.
dude, I think just the thought of being 8 points behind City after game week 5, It is scary. I mean, it is
I
scary.
have a lot riding on it financially as well, and my word, I've made a lot of commitments. I have been going around for a while now saying we are going to win it 100%, and it would be so fucked up if that all came crumbling down within the first month. So I
I
don't know. I
hope
hope,
not. I hope not, bro.
yeah.
I hope for your sake it doesn't happen. Abhinav, are you confident in Arsenal stopping City, or do you think Liverpool will?
And I'll never say Liverpool will win the league again after the last 3, 4 seasons. When I think I have so much trauma from all of that. But I don't know. I think it will be very funny if Slots does something in his first season itself that will kind of undermine everything. I don't know, Pep, Arteta, Klopp, even everyone, right? I think if he wins the league in his first season,
Is he
but right
that
now I think
guy?
that's
Is
too.
he that guy?
I,
He is that guy, but next season, not
I,
this
I,
season.
I think it'll be end of Arteta. Arteta needs to go packing if if a slot.
Oh, oh, oh,
I think
But
you can wish that at your own peril, I guess, but I don't think so. I don't think Slot is going to go all the way. I mean, look at Haaland and City, man. I think there. I mean, unless suddenly Premier League has some sense and then has some shame and then relegate them in the middle of the season, I don't think anyone's going to kind of come close to Pep and in the City and the machine that they have. But yeah, I think we'll end up like second or third, maybe. It's between the three of us, like City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. I think we'll end up one or three somewhere. Mostly City first, and Liverpool and Arsenal the next two spots. But it's too early, man. I think at this point, I mean, I don't want to make any judgment on slot style or anything because I still see that we can concede. We are weak from set pieces. We can still concede some, chances because I think United had like three good chances today. They didn't score from any of them. We converted three out of the four chances that we had. So there's still some work to do. I mean, it kind of helps that we played some, just Ipswich and Brentford in the first two games, and United is United at this point. I don't want to kind of draw too many conclusions from them, but we'll see where we are with the next international break. I think that should give us a good picture of how good Slot manage expectations and all of that. Because again, we have a very weakened squad in defense right now. What you're seeing in defense is what we have. We don't have anyone else's backup. We don't have Matip. There is no and we only have Kwanzaa who's kind of deputizing for Konate, and then Lambeck's kind of declining a bit, like he's not at the usual self. So I think there are still a lot of things for us to kind of ponder over. Yeah, I think we'll wait and watch.
and
what's the deal with Nunes?
you
Nunes,
almost
I
made
there's
thought
no
it.
I
deal
thought
with Nunes.
he's supposed to be serving a ban, right? But he played
That's
today.
international ban. No, that's
I
international
don't
ban.
know.
Internet.
I think
Uh,
that's international ban. I guess I don't know
Yeah.
if it applies to the club level, but
huh.
the Nunes deal, Nunes. I think the first three games. Again, the reason why he probably hasn't played so much is because he was involved with Uruguay, and then his national team were to like went in at least till end of July. So he probably is given some more rest. I think we'll see more of him after the international break, I guess. But I mean, I saw the last 20 minutes of the match today. I see how he's kind of screwing up his, counter attacks and everything. I think generally, I don't think you can count on Nunes, man. I think he's fine. He does what he does, but you can't build a team around him. He can't be your
He's
second
not that guy.
striker. He's not that guy. Exactly. He's not that guy. You cannot build a championship. Or you cannot build a Premier League or a Champions League winning team around him. You know what I'm saying? I think
So
it's great. And be a second striker. We can be this person who can just kind of come in towards the end, like after 60 minutes or so, and then run at defenders and then get a chance or so. But he cannot be your main striker because he's so hit and miss.
so I have a question, right? Uh, we've seen Pep, we've seen City for like what 3, 4, 5 years now, and he always reinvents himself. And now he's reinvented like last season with Haaland, and nobody can stop them. Like absolutely nobody. I mean, I know Arsenal stopped them last season from scoring and whatnot, shit. But objectively speaking, there's just no stopping these guys. Either teams can't handle it, they come up with a plan, and that plan goes out of the window as soon as they come out of the tunnel. So, what is it with City? Like, why are they so unstoppable?
But I think where they
Yeah.
are right now. Yeah, go on, Abhinav. Okay, yeah, where they are right now, I think is the result of like a very long term investment. And this goes back to even before Pep came into the equation, right? So it's not just that okay, you have a legendary manager and you have a good squad, but you also have that squad depth and the organization to back it up. So in order to take them down, you will also need you will need to start at the bottom and like invest and get to that point. And I think that one team that has been trying to do that is Arsenal, right? I think we are like maybe in phase 4 right now, and uh, unlike uh, unlike City, we have City to contend with to win a
Yeah,
first title. So
yeah.
I think if
I
it
agree.
wasn't for that, we would have been winning 2 titles now, right? If that
Yeah,
City was not there.
or
So
not for
if
the
you look at
referees.
it, yeah. So this is the way to beat them, right? You
Yeah.
need to build it up like that. So it is difficult, but it can be done.
You know what I was surprised was because I was surprised from the lack of transfer activities, and there are some certain explanations to it which I'll get to in a minute. But I was surprised that they let uh, Alvarez go, and they only
Hmm.
got this guy Savinho in, right? And if you looked at their bench over the weekend, it wasn't really strong. And again, I'm prefacing this by saying that Rodri wasn't there, Foden wasn't there, like they got
Hmm.
Gundogan, right? So once these players comes in, those that bench immediately starts looking as if, like, they have certain game changers from the bench. But at least for now, it wasn't as strong. They were like really like 4 or 5 academy players, a few defenders, but it wasn't something that you'd be scared of. But then they have Haaland, which is simply unstoppable. I mean, and Haaland and KDB, you just can't stop them.
Okay, so when it comes to Haaland, look, we've seen him go missing in big games over
Yeah,
and over and over again. We saw that in both of our games against City last season. We saw that in the Champions League as well.
yeah,
So we don't have to think like that when it comes to Haaland. KDB on the other hand, no, that guy is goated. So he is somebody who performs against the small teams and the big teams.
yeah,
So I think he's way more of an asset than Haaland. Haaland can score 3-4 goals against Bournemouth and whatever. That's great. Uh, but I'm not. Haaland is not who I'm concerned about. I'm more concerned about the fact that they seem to be very sure of their transfers. There is no rumors going around. There is no questions being asked. They just do it, right? Even offloading Alvarez, it just happened like that. That's it. There was
yeah,
no other thought about it. Nothing. They knew what they were going to do and they did it. And
yeah,
even getting Gundogan back, so that is definitely concerning. Like when you see your rivals acting like that, because that means that they have it laid out. They
yeah,
have like a proper plan in place. So I mean, at the same time, I feel like maybe if you look at Arsenal, it it, it was a quite stable window. I did not see a lot of fumbling or going back and forth. It just, we wanted these people and we got it. And at the end of the window, I mean, Sterling was a bit of a surprise move. And there was also talk of Darwin Nunes
I would have loved that
as
guy.
well. Yeah.
I would love some chaos. I mean, to be honest, I would
Yeah.
the main reason why I would have liked him was because of the chaos that he would bring. I think we are too structured, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I said I was worried
Mm.
about Arsenal was because we are all tactics. We are not really a moments player. And sometimes what you need is a moments player. Like what you said with Haaland, uh, he probably might not have a lot of touches. He might not work against the big ass teams. But dude, he will make sure that he kills 15 out of those 20 teams. And then you need the rest of the squad in KDB and Haaland and like,
Mm.
oh sorry, KDB and Foden and Rodri and like all of these people to step up for the rest of the five out of 10 games against the next five teams, right? So I think having that Punisher, that killer, is obviously there's only one Haaland. You can't get him. There's no other Haaland in the world. So I'm not saying get Haaland, but I'm just saying that we are so dependent on tactics that if our tactics don't work, then it everything goes out of the window.
Don't you think our defense is like
No, no,
quite
it's the
good
best,
right now
best in the
beyond
league,
tactics, even
best in the
beyond
league.
tactics, even in terms of just physical attributes. I
Yeah,
think it's really good.
best in the
I
league.
would say like it's better than cities.
Best in the league.
Yeah,
Best in the
yeah.
league.
Because I'm quite confident right now with the back four. Right, it is so solid right now, and now Timber's back into the equation. Right, so I think maybe we need to see, like you said, we need to because, for example, what happened yesterday, we saw tactics in play,
Yeah.
but that was not enough. We want to see a little bit of individual brilliance to
Yeah.
take us over the top in these kind of situations. So I mean, we do get that from Saka, we do, and maybe you can see a little bit of Trossard as well. But
Yeah.
I think Martinelli has been disappointing that way, and he's someone who's actually capable of doing that. We've seen him
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that in the past.
Yeah.
So I feel like, see, we do have some players, but they need to step up, and they need to
Yeah.
step up and do something. That's why even I was excited for Nunes, because when you have a player like that, like up front, things can happen.
Things can happen.
So
Yeah.
I don't think things can happen. Things are not, and even to a certain degree, I like Havertz that way as well,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
things happen. He's also a bit chaotic, but not Jesus. Jesus is a
Jesus just flops, bro. Jesus just cuts one player, then he'll flop, then he'll flop, then he'll flop. He does everything but to release the ball. And by releasing, I mean like he just doesn't know when to shoot or when to pass. He just doesn't know that. And I know Haaland is, and I know Nunes is similar. That's why Abhinav is laughing. Maybe even more.
No,
But
this is the
but we love.
classic case of grass is green on the other side thing. And I mean, like you're paying too much of a price for having Nunes. I'm telling you, you want Nunes for the chaos, for the moments, for those moments.
okay, but there's a thing, right? His speed, height, strength, these things are there. These physical attributes are there. See, you just need to utilize him that well.
No,
Jesus, on the
you.
other hand,
Take it,
he doesn't
take it
have
from
those attributes.
I get it. Take it from someone who
Hmm.
has seen Nunes' every touch, every run, every misstep was seen, and who is frustrated beyond the point. You see, it's not the fact of him missing goals, right? I think strikers only convert like what 20% of the chances on average, unless it's Haaland. So I get that. Him missing chances, I get it. But the thing is his general intelligence, his general application of how and what to do where. I'm okay, okay. I'm being very harsh on him right now, but the entire Klopp farewell tour unraveling started from a Nunes pass to fucking Bruno Fernandes at 3-2 in that Amar Diallo's goal. It started from there. We were leading 3-2 initially, and we had like 10 minutes to go. Just like, why do you want to counter at that point? Why do you want to make a risky pass? Nothing. Like there is no intelligence. I'm telling you, that is going
So
to
I think
school
maybe
you
that is
far
more like a
beyond.
discipline thing as well. Maybe
Okay,
he's too
you think there was
emotional.
a better
He gets
think, you think Klopp couldn't discipline him? Seriously? I think
no.
Arsenal could
I'm no,
discipline
no.
more
I'm
than
talking
Klopp.
about self-discipline.
Bro,
I'm talking
Arteta
about
is better, bro.
self-discipline.
Arteta is better, bro.
No, I'm not. No, I'm talking about self-discipline. And so yeah,
You
so
know,
I'm just saying
self.
that that you're right. Klopp is great, whatever, but he's still young, so it is technically fixable. I don't know what shock therapy, abuse, torture, threaten
Kidnapping his
to.
I'm,
kidnapping
I'll
his
tell you.
dad.
I'll I'll literally just so that my theory is proven right or wrong or whatever, just so that I have that plan. Because the thing what fucks me up with Nunes is that I don't have clarity with it. I don't know what he's doing, when he's doing it, and how he's doing it. If someone, maybe Arteta can channel all of that and say, okay, I'm going to teach him self-discipline, self-awareness, and then I'm going to make him this player, then please, by all means, go for it. Even if that means Liverpool is not winning a title, I want to see it. I want
No,
to
it
understand
is
what.
possible. It is possible that there was a lot going on for Klopp, and Nunes was the neglected child.
Okay,
Okay,
maybe
okay,
maybe if
okay.
another family adopted him, who more
Yeah,
functional
hopefully.
at the moment,
I'm gonna.
because we don't have a lot of drama going on,
Yeah.
so we might be able to focus on that one child.
Okay,
So
By all means,
I'm gonna break
take
this up.
Nunes.
I'm gonna break this up.
Once take Nunes, give us Martinelli, we'll be fine.
Absolutely. You're only getting money from Nunes, no players. But from one drama to another, right?
uh,
What's gonna happen with Chelsea? Realistically, let's not. Okay, I know you guys would probably want to touch upon the off the field issues. Maybe go about that. But who are going to be there? I mean, now that they have a set squad for 3 months, and I'm going to say just for 3 months because we know that a lot of these players will be made redundant in January, and then 50 more players will be bought in January. So all of that is going to
Fodder.
happen. Yeah, but for next 3 months, they have a set of players. Who do you think will be the main guys who can take Chelsea to maybe that European spot? I'm not saying top four. They can do top four. They have the quality, but they can also do seventh, eighth, whatever the European spot is. But who do you think will be the players?
Yeah, I don't
I,
know.
I don't know. I think it's again.
Obviously, Cole Palmer to start with.
Yeah,
He looks pretty solid in this season as well so far. I haven't seen the latest game, but like the first two games, he's definitely been quite good. Uh, and I think they have a lot of wingers, and it's really difficult to judge.
yeah.
It's just been 3 games so right now. So some Medueke, I think, was looking
Dude,
good.
Madueke is good. I think Madueke is like uh slightly
He
better.
scored a hat trick, right, in the last
Yeah, he's
game.
he's like a yeah, yeah, he's like a slightly better Darwin Nunes in terms of his finishing. Right? Is literally that chaotic player, brainless, doesn't have doesn't have much ability to think and make judgments, but he will do it. He will do it in like one of 3 games. He will do it, right? And then he will celebrate, and then he'll come back and fight for the penalty after whatever the things that's going on in his head. But he's again one of those players who can be probably Maresca will trust. I think they have NATO. I think Pedro NATO is going to be a good signing for them if he can stay fit. I have absolutely no
Is
idea.
Sancho in? Is Sancho in?
Yeah, that's who I was going to
So
come to. I have no
what
idea
is
why.
why? But why are they going for more wingers? I don't understand.
It's
Like,
a fetish,
don't they
bro.
have enough?
It's a fetish. It's just Boli wants that. Boli wants that.
No, Mariska has been very clear, right? Like he just trains with uh 13, no, what, 20 players, something like that, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everyone else is just training elsewhere. I don't know what he said. He said something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. He said that we have a bomb squad that is completely separate from the players that I train with. I don't talk to them. I don't care about them. They can do whatever they want, and that's about it. And he just ended everything over there in the press
So
conference. But
they have like farming operation going on right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, they are like, yeah, dude. I have absolutely no idea why they signed Sancho. I mean, I get Arsenal's urge to rescue players, but Chelsea don't need to rescue players. Like they have a lot of players that need to be rescuing within the squad. Like rescue them first. So I don't know why they signed Sancho. I don't know where he's gonna play. They have Modric, who should be given a special prize for fooling people into thinking that he's a football player because he's not. He's just a boy from Ukraine who's running away from all the bad things that are happening there. He's literally just that, and dude, I genuinely feel bad or feel grateful that we didn't sign Modric because I think Arteta would have been sacked.
I think if you go to Chelsea right now, right, it's going to be like if you became a Chelsea player, it's going to be like back to school kind of vibes. Where when you
Yeah,
get there, everybody has to stand in a line.
yeah.
Who's present? There's so many people.
Did you
I
look
think
at
there's
the?
going to be like high school politics like going on in the cafeteria. Like there's just so
Yeah,
many people. Like anything you can think of, it'll happen. Like just based on probability.
yeah, yeah.
I think there's bullying going around. Who knows
Yeah,
what's happening?
dude,
Have you
I
seen the
can.
scenes from the gym?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that. I think I can envision Cole Palmer literally bullying Madueke, like for some reason, or like people just coming and hitting Mudrik on his head just because for the sake of it. Like it definitely happens. But one player I really want to point out is Nicholas Jackson, dude. I think I don't. I mean, he's not gonna world class. He's not going to be a world class player. I don't think he has that level of things in it. But I think he's going to be a really good functional player. I think he obviously he's a bad finisher, but I think he brings a lot to the team in terms of his hold up play, in terms of his
I think
connecting
with
people.
everything going on in Chelsea, Nicholas Jackson is somebody who actually got highlighted last year.
Yeah,
Like so, and of course, now we have to see if uh, he's going to improve or not because I think he seemed like somebody who was motivated, who didn't
yeah,
get lost in the chaos.
yeah,
So
yeah,
this was something that was spoken about. I think Drogba came and said something about this guy. So at least like there is a spotlight on him. So maybe there is an incentive that I have to do something, like the rest of the people who's just there in the background. So I think this season is going to be the make it or break it season for this guy.
No, I
For
thought the same with Nicholas Jackson. I thought like, okay, first season he told Messi will do something, and maybe this season is the 1 year he can play. But the fact that he tweeted about John Obi Mikel the first time, the first thing he scored in that 6-0 win or something.
Hmm.
No reasoning whatsoever. He just wants to tweet about him. And the thing is, this is where it will tell me that the players, their brain is not in the right place. They are so obsessed with their experience. I mean, if you really want to apply yourself, if you really want to prove yourself, you can just shut up and do whatever it is and then maybe towards the end, tweet something, say something. You score one goal. That's the first thing you come from saying. This is the problem I have with Nunes as well in general, in this general application of things, I guess. But I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
if Jackson can pull it up, good for him.
yeah. I think it's just lack of maturity and lack of leadership within the trust group. Like I think they feed off of negativity from the media, and they then project it outwards, and which is
No,
a very big problem.
if you can weaponize it, there is nothing wrong in that. Other players have done that in the past and succeeded in like
Yeah,
going ahead in their careers by doing that. So you if you can successfully weaponize it, like utilize it to your own benefit, that's fine.
yeah.
Instead of
I think
being like yeah,
I think
drowned
the
out
big
by it.
no, 100%. I think the biggest problem is projecting it outwards later. I think that's where the problem comes. I think if you can use it as a us versus them mentality or us versus against the world mentality, and then channelize to perform and let your performances speak, then it's great. But I think the problem comes when you start dishing out comments on Instagram, calling out people, because I mean it's a funny world, right? You will end up messing up once or twice, and then those people will get a chance to come back at you, and then you're just basically feeding to the this media narrative wheel that keeps on going. So I think that might just be their downfall. But to be honest, they have the really good players, and if they can pull things together, I think they can definitely finish in Europa, if not better.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
what it is. I think we thought it was we thought they were just kind of this joke of squad with Pochettino and everything, but I think they do have a way of playing. They massively underperformed the XG over the course of
Yeah,
season, and I think they finished like fifth or something. They would have been in Europa League with
I
confidence.
think they should go for consistency and
Yeah.
stability this
yeah,
year. They should go for consistency and stability, not reach for the stars. They should know their place and at least try to finish in the top eight, but with the like less chaotic season. Then they can maybe try to do something next year.
Priyaj is like
Know their place
they
and
should
then finish
they
in
should
top
know
eight.
their place. Love it,
I was
love
actually
it.
expecting when you said know their place, and like I thought maybe top five or something because top five gets to Champions League. Everyone performed, and then the next thing is top eight. I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, one of the last few topics, okay, for today, and then we're gonna wrap it up quickly. Uh, I generally win things in my second season. Is Big Ange just like big on talks, or do you think it's possible?
He's been a smooth talker till now. So if that's his
Yeah,
persona, let him go with it. But he has to perform. Otherwise, I mean, if he performs, that's good. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll move on from Spurs, whatever. And if he doesn't perform, also it's good entertainment for us to see all the Spurs fans getting frustrated again, and the
yeah,
whole Ange aura crumbling down. So we'll see. But they've been pretty shaky so far this season, right?
yeah.
And I think they have everything like what it takes to at least finish in the top four. So I think we'll see. I don't think uh, it will be considered a failure if they don't win the Premier League, because other than delusional Spurs fans, I don't think anyone else is expecting them to do that.
I
But
think
I think
Wait, wait.
I think
top three will be like
Prayag, I
a
think Big Ange
reasonable
was
expectation.
I think
Yeah.
Big
I
Ange
think
was
you know what.
referring to a Big Ange was referring to Carabao Cup, bro, not Premier League. What are you saying?
No, 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 no. For Spurs, finishing in the top three is like a title. Like it's like a cup for
Yeah,
them. So
yeah.
by their standards. So
No,
it's
man,
fine.
yeah, no, but I think Spurs really should kind of go the Ten Hag way. I mean, not entirely in terms of tactics, but in terms of the trophies at least, because their fans have been so starved, man. Like, can you at least give something, a Carabao Cup, something, an FA Cup? Just focus on that. Just get something so that you can build on to the next season. Because unlike United, they have a good backroom staff. They have, the way Daniel Levy is operating things with the stadium and all of that. I think
Don't
they have
forget
a good
about the
foundation
stadium,
to build.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
the
have a good
NFL
foundation to
deal.
build on. Yeah, exactly. So they can be all that fans want is basically just win something so that we can have some sort of like, okay, we are fine, we are still existing, we are living, and then we think about Premier League and all of that, right? Because for them finishing in Champions League and finishing in top four, I mean they've done that in two or three times in the last like 6 or 7 seasons, but then nothing comes out of Champions League. They might get extra revenue and all of that, but nothing kind of materializes for them once they are in Champions League. So top four, top three, I don't think they would want it so much as they would want a trophy. I really think they should just go for these. I mean, they should not kind of screw up in these earlier rounds. They should take every round as its final and then just go for trophies. And I think that's what fans should do, at least to kind of make sure the people believe in things. And then they can
Mm-hmm.
start building for other trophies. Because if they are going to think that, okay, I finished third this season, no trophies, yeah, that feeling will stick for a bit. Okay, you can be the Champions League anthem next season, but what of it? What are you going to show for it? There's nothing there.
Yeah, I think
Vibes. They have vibes to show for it.
vibes. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things with Spurs is that they can't defend, dude. Like, I mean, they have good defenders, they have good players, but they can't defend as a collective, and that's my biggest worry for them. I mean, not worry, but like actual hope that this continues for the duration of the season, because they have pretty good attackers. I think they are the best attacking team in terms of the patterns that they implement. It's really fun to watch them play football, especially when they're attacking, when they're on the front foot. But then if they don't score 2 or 3 goals quickly, or like before
Hmm.
the opponent does, then they're basically they will let goals in, and that's the biggest problem with them, right? So even in the cups, that is my biggest worry, and that again is a structural worry, same as Ten Hag. Ten Hag is a stupid fuck, but this guy is, I think, focuses or chooses not to do that thing, and that might be his downfall, because that's what happened last year, where his
I think
formations
I
were.
think they can I think they can play the way they've been playing with a high line, but they should be able to make adjustments in game, in the sense that if they concede early, they need to be able to transition to something else to move forward. Or if they're going to face a side like City, they should be they cannot be doing the same thing in every game. So
Yeah,
that's one thing they need to work on right now. They
yeah.
need to be able to transition when necessary. So if they can do pull that off, I think that that will put them in a pretty good position.
No, I agree. I think I'm a little I think I'm confident that they might just they'll do top five, which will be Champions League.
No, I think that's the thing, though. So they have to kind of make a choice between are we a cup team or are we a league team? I
Yeah,
really want them to be the former, right? Okay, you can finish sixth, but if you win a Carabao Cup, your season is a success. Because again, it may not be a success for United or Liverpool or Arsenal, but knowing their place, AJ to or Prayag to say, paraphrase your words, knowing their place, if they can basically win a trophy, a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, and then finish sixth or seventh or Europa League or Conference League, then that's fine. At least the players, the team will have something to build on, and then they look forward to the season. But if they're not doing any of those, I mean, they're just finishing fourth or fifth and finishing in Champions League, what's the point? Like, it's been like, what, 20, 25 years, 30 years since they won a trophy? I don't know what the time frame is, but like, you need people to kind of believe in your project. And I think they've built the stadium like, what, 6 years ago? So when they moved into the stadium like 4 or 5 years ago. But apart from the talk of like managers changing in, Mourinho, Conte, all these guys coming in, and then now Ange coming in, there's been no consistency at all. There's nothing for Spurs fans to look forward to. I've met a few of them when I was in London, and I think I can see the disappointment on their faces. They're so hungry for something to show off. Like, uh,
Just one cup would end like an entire range of banter against them, right? Which been going on for a very long time. All it takes is one cup, and that would stop that, and that would do so much for their fans. If Ange could just win maybe the Carabao Cup and then maybe collapse and leave, even that alone would be like a big success. So maybe he can be smart and just focus on one thing
Yeah,
while making sure
exactly.
you finish top four. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what Kenny Dalglish did when he came into Liverpool in 2012. We were just kind of Todd Hudson was sacked. We didn't win anything, a trophy for 10 years. And Kenny was like, okay, first let's win a trophy and then build on top of it. I think he prioritized us, and we think we finished like eighth or something in the league or something at that time. And then we won the Carabao Cup against Cardiff, I guess. And then we lost in the FA Cup final against Chelsea 2012 season. I think basically just have something for the fans to cheer about and then build on top of it. At
yeah.
least for a club of like Tottenham stature.
Same can be said about Arsenal, but let's not go there.
No, but
Arsenal,
we don't want that. That is not going to satisfy us. Just winning the FA
exactly.
Cup or the
Look, like
Carabao
you guys have
Cup.
won FA Cup. Yeah, you guys have won FA Cup like what 10 times. So
No,
you guys the highest.
I was just kidding.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
just kidding.
No. You weren't kidding. You suddenly realized what you said and then you tracked back.
Either that or what I said. Okay, one last thing. How useless is international break? Bro, I hate it. Like, I absolutely hate it. Not because of that insane international break, but because of, I think we just had such a big tournament. We just had such a long season. And you can't expect clubs who are playing players' salary to not play them because of whatever XYZ reason. And the fact that all of these players who were a big part of all these teams are called upon again without, I mean, they could have easily been given a 15-day break. I don't think any of those fixtures are meaningful enough to not give them a break. So, how useless it is? Are you worried about your players getting injured? Do you think that's going to happen?
It kind of depends on who's going to be playing. I think England has like two useless fixtures to qualify for the World Cup or something, but it's pretty useless. I think it's. I don't know why we should have three international breaks: one in September, one in October, and one in November. Why can't we just combine everything into one big break, or at least have two, right? Because there's a lot going on, especially with Champions League. We have like four additional fixtures we are going to play. How are you going to fit everything into one calendar, man? How like
Yeah,
you're literally killing the golden goose. Like these players are performing for you. Like if you look at what was that guy's Yamin Lamal or even Jude Bellingham or everyone, look at the number of minutes they've played so far with club and country at their respective ages and compare that to Rooney or Ronaldo at their age. Look at how much they're extra they're playing, and the fact that you're still doing this for random friendlies and random, I don't know. I think England is going to qualify no matter what, if Bellingham plays or not. But he's still called up to do all of those things. He's still called up to
yeah,
train and all of that. If you're going to just keep doing this all the time, if you're going to kind of just impose on players that you are needed for these random friendlies against Andorra or San Marino, then what's the point? Why
yeah,
do this? And why can't they be more structured, right? Because you have Champions League, because UEFA, FA, and FIFA, can't they just kind of get on a conference call and then just sort this shit out? No, they can't. I mean, no, they can, but they won't, because of
yeah,
the fact that they want to make sure that they have this stupid Nations League going on the side. They have all of these things coming in, and then I don't know who cares about Nations League except Cristiano Ronaldo. Man. Ronaldo is the
nobody
only.
cares.
Yeah, exactly. Only if you win. Like, who cares about Nations League? Who cares about what you're doing and not doing in that competition, right? Like, so it's just so many competitions. Like, the Club World Cup is expanding, Champions League is expanding, and then you have this Nations League, you have all the international breaks, and for some reason we won't get rid of the League Cup in the English League. We
Yeah,
have how are you going? And then thing is, it's not like you can play everyone, right? I think you expect people to all the star players to show up, even in a League Cup final. You expect everyone to play, and then the thing is, there's no looking back. It's just that you're just running these players into the ground all the time, and I don't see an end to it. Like, at what point are you going to draw the line and say, okay, this is enough? So, to your question and my point, yes, the nation, this international breaks are such a bane to modern football at this point.
yeah,
They just happen because they just happen. They're designed that way, and then people just want players to play in it. there's no value coming out of it. And I think there was a proposal, I'm not sure from when it is in effect from. I think there is a proposal where they say that, okay, maybe we can shorten the three international breaks into two or something. Maybe that was from 25, 26 or something. I'm not sure when that's going to take into effect, but we need to kind of curb it as soon as possible.
What's the deal with this FIFA World Cup thingy? The Club World Cup. Is it going to be every year? I know it's expanded to 32 teams or something like that.
Yeah, I think again I might be wrong, but basically what they're trying to do is they expand it and then so basically right now the way the football calendar is in the even years you have a World Cup or a Euro alternatively, right?
Yeah,
So I think in the odd years, I think one season is going to be the Nations League or something like that, and then on the other season is going to be the Club World Cup finale or something like that. So FIFA wanted more of these players, and I think even in this season or maybe next season, even the way you kind of participate in this Club World Cup is based on your coefficient, I guess. I think depending on how well you performed in the
oh,
European competitions over the last
that
season. So so I think Arsenal can be relaxed about it. So
thank you for the sly comment. Appreciate it.
no, but generally, like I don't know. I think they're basically trying to see how they can have more and more. And I think it's a moot point, right? Like, why have that? Because the European clubs are going to win it. When was the last time any FIFA Club World Cup was won by someone not from Europe? Tell me that. And maybe I don't know. I think 2005 or six or something.
Maybe when they stopped maybe when they were not invited into the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
Maybe when it
exactly.
was
Right. I think
before. Yeah,
what's the point of it? Because the Champions League is the pinnacle
No,
of club football, and
the
that's it.
thing is, I mean, it's just like any other corporation, right? Like you have a team comes in or someone comes into a position, they have to do something. You have to be always moving forward, increasing revenues, whatever. So because of that, they will always try to bring in new things. Always, it's
yeah,
always going to happen. Uh,
yeah,
with more things, there's less space for other new things. So I hope we will hit a point where they won't be introducing all these weird random tournaments. But this will still continue to happen, and
yeah,
it is not a big surprise. And who knows what happens in the next 20 years? Maybe the football in another continent might pick up. Like I personally think uh, maybe Africa can in the future because they still, it's a place where you get a lot of good players from. They just haven't organized
infrastructure,
themselves into
bro.
proper. That can
Infrastructure
happen, right? In
has
20, 30 years. That can
no, no,
happen.
no.
Why not?
Finances, no, no, finances, bro. Like I think it
So
requires a lot
30
of
years is
finances to do.
reasonable.
I mean, maybe I
Sure.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't know. Anyways, so yeah, it's just a thing. And maybe if you really think about it, it might be really beneficial for those clubs. I
yeah,
mean, the European club is going to win it, doesn't matter. But it might be a big source of revenue for the other smaller clubs from the other continents. So maybe they're just doing it for that.
yeah.
So,
No,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that is my
that's
point. My
actually a
point
good
is like,
point.
don't be greedy about it, right? Like if you want a Club World Cup to be expanded, just get rid of the League Cup. If you, I mean, then you're expanding Champions League as well. You're expanding the Club World Cup as well. Like, how are you expecting the players to cope up with this pressure from international games and the club games? Because a club like Liverpool, a club like Arsenal or City, I think their players are going to play 60 games over the course of the season. If you look at Real Madrid and City over the last season, Rodri or Bellingham, they played like what 58, 60 games. And I think how are you expecting that they'll have the same level of performance? Because you've seen how much Bellingham's performance has dropped in the Euros.
and
Like
you know
he's not.
what? I also think these red cards should apply for international breaks as well, because then the FA will think twice while giving a red card to Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Good segue there, but yeah.
You know what we can do? We can actually, I mean, what they should do, like how Olympics are, right? It's an under 23 tournament essentially with like a few players sprinkled over a certain age. Maybe they can do that for Club World Cup where
And
players.
I think you should be calm, right? Even though it's an international break, at least Nunes will be safe.
Yeah, I think, dude, the
That's
only
what he's
person
not
who
calm about. That's what he's not calm about. He's worried about that because then somebody gets injured, then Nunes will be there to play.
I don't know, man. With Nunes, you can never say anything about Nunes. Yeah, I spent too much of my time last season thinking about Nunes. I don't want to do it again this season. But yeah,
Okay, that's a wrap. Good pod, boys. I'm gonna stop.
all right. Thank you so much.